Hi, we are family from California on a round-the-world journey in our van, from the United States to China and back. We have already crossed America coast to coast and shipped our van from Baltimore to Liverpool.
Everything looks good from outside. So I just picked up the van that we dropped off almost 3 weeks ago in Baltimore, United States. And now we are here in Liverpool port.
Вы что, снова дома? Да? Нет.
The United Kingdom welcomed us on its own way, with rain, clouds and cool air. It was only 60 Fahrenheit at the end of June. Not quite the summer we expected. So the first thing we did was go buy Amelia waterproof autumn boots. But such weather didn't stop us from enjoying the beauty of this island. And maybe, in a way, we were even lucky. But we will get to that soon.
These tiny streets are very tiny, even for tiny plants.
Our first night we camped at a pool out on a Kirkstone Pass. In the morning, we opened the rear doors and saw meadows of the most unreal shade of green, with the sheep grazing all around. First impressions are always the strongest. I wanted to film every single sheep, every blade of grass swaying in the wind. The views were very unusual, pleasing to the eye, curious, and endlessly fascinating. Is this the England you imagined from books? The further north we drove towards Scotland, the wilder and more unpredictable the landscapes became. And the real surprises were still ahead. But let's take it step by step.
Look at this. What is interesting? For a toddler is the usual seat in a cart like this, but they do also have such seats. This is like for twins. This is for one baby, but it's cool that it's just almost flat position for an infant.
It was time to fill our empty fridge. Before putting the van on the ferry, we had to throw away absolutely everything, even spices. So we had to buy it all again from scratch.
We are in a regular supermarket in a small town, and they have a special bathroom for a family with baby that has this sofa, a changing table, a very low-level sink for a kid, and low-level toilet. Nice!
We bought everything except eggs. But in the United Kingdom, we noticed a wonderful thing. You can buy fresh farm eggs right by the roadside.
Very nice, very nice.
Just take the eggs and leave money. Amazing! Speaking of farms, they turned out to be one of the best places to stop for the night. Usually, it's a parking spot on grass or gravel, sometimes with electricity and water. And always with animals: horses, cows, chickens, pigs, sheep, goats, and Amelia's favorite, cats. Amelia loves animals, and thanks to Vanlife, she sees them in nature far more often than in books. We love a wild off-grid camping, but forms a little island of safety. When you are traveling with a child, that matters. Parents can finally relax a little while their child plays safely nearby. And soon, we were already getting close to Scotland. It wasn't only visible, it was audible.
Actually, it's so hard to understand most of people. Accent is so different. I was expected that we just don't understand each other, so it was not.
No, the whole country accents are different everywhere.
Ordering a cup of tea, I realized something funny. We both spoke English, yet we didn't understand each other. The accent, the pronunciation, even the words were different. We struggled to understand the British English and completely stopped understanding the Scots. A hot cup of tea saved us time and again on this trip, because it was the nicest and quickest way to warm up during this British summer. Scotland. That morning we woke up at the shore of a raging river. Around us, mountains, and no single person. Just the three of us. The weather was typically Scottish. Cold, strong wind, and low clouds. But how beautiful it was! You step out to admire it, then hide back in your sanctuary on wheels. We would have loved to stay longer, but the weather didn't let us spend that much time outside. So we decided to keep moving, hoping to outrun the wind. Amelia doesn't enjoy car seats, so we try to plan long drives during her naps. But unlike the car seat, she loves riding in her bike seat with Dad. So Dennis and Amelia set off on the bike while I followed behind in the van. Moreover, the wind was at our back. For us, the bike is the most reliable way to keep moving forward. Scottish roads are mostly like this: narrow, scenic, and lined with sheep. We completely fell in love with the sheep here. There are more sheep than Scots. Maybe they're the true Scots?
This is just a one-way road, so you have to pull out every time from the road to give other cars to pass. So it's kind of tricky and challenging. And I feel how the narrow is this road by the wheels. So I feel how when the wheels touch the ground, the shoulders. So it's a little bit scary, but it's okay. There's no danger. Absolutely stunning view. Oh wow, waterfall! Many waterfalls. The weather these days is very rainy and cloudy, so the falls are very full. Waterfalls are everywhere. It's so beautiful. Oh my gosh, you have to see it.
It was stunning. Mountains, rivers, waterfalls. I wanted to stop every 5 minutes just to stare with my mouth open. I would love to tell you the name of this place, but it was just one of the countless Scottish roads. And this was only the beginning. We were entering the Isle of Skye, one of the most famous places to discover Scottish nature. Even with its popularity and crowds of tourists, it still feels wild. A true Vanlife paradise. Endless green meadows, the ocean, free-roaming sheep, and us, alone. This became one of our top off-grid spots in Scotland. It would have been absolutely perfect if not for the icy wind that nearly blew us away. We tried to escape it, but we couldn't. Layer after layer, thermals, fleece, windbreaker, hat, dressed as we were going skiing. And even then, the wind pierced through us with icy needles. Needless to say, swimming in the ocean was out of the question. Apparently, this is normal weather for Scotland in midsummer. The weather felt terrible, but it depends on how you look at it. Later we learned that on the rare days without wind, the air fills with millions of tiny midges. They slip through any ordinary mosquito net, and the only way to escape them is to wear a special mesh head cover. So we were not really sure what was worse. Maybe in fact we were lucky with the wind. Let's look at it in that way.
This is so beautiful. It's almost impossible to get here with a van, even with a jeep, but with a bike, so easy. And I'm so happy that Amelia loves biking.
At least our warm, cozy home was always with us, a place to hide from any storm. Meanwhile, the weather on Skye kept getting worse. So, what do you do with a toddler in an 80 square foot van when it's pouring outside? You watch movies, draw, play, eat, and sleep. Before this trip, other Vanlife parents shared the tip. If you need a break, head to a playground. It's a lifesaver for parents. The child is busy and happy, and sometimes all you need is to sit back and watch her play in a safe space. And sometimes the playgrounds are so much fun that you can't resist joining in yourself. Like Delscon Farm Fun. Trampolines, slides, play zones, and best of all, a petting zoo. Amelia stroked goats, donkeys, alpacas. Baby goats even squeezed through the fence and we held them in our arms. A dream place for kids of any age, even over 30. And then, back on Skye, the rain finally stopped. And we ran outside like wild things, stretching, playing, spending Amelia's built-up energy and restoring our own. Recharging is something you need to do constantly on a trip like this. And how we keep our energy up, you will see later in this video. For the night, we went back into the wild. Back when we first traveled by van, we quickly learned how hard it can be to find the right spots, where to park, refill water or empty tanks. This time though, we set on a journey with the Tiny Planet Travel Concierge. It's a premium service guided by people who live this lifestyle full-time. And it makes the road so much easier, leaving us with more time to simply enjoy the freedom of travel. You will find more information about this in the description below. The Quirang. We arrived here late, but Scottish summer nights are white. It doesn't get dark until almost midnight. I stayed to put Amelia to bed while Dennis took the bike on a trail before it was completely dark.
It doesn't look like a bike trail for me, but I want to go.
He had to cross waterfalls, push the bike uphill. Classic Dennis. His kind of meditation. You have already seen him to do this in Colorado, and if not, check out the video on our channel.
I don't think it's a bike trail. Definitely not a bike trail.
The next morning, my turn. this time on foot. I left Dennis with Amelia and escaped into the mountains. I love hiking alone. For me, it's a way to mentally recharge. For a mom of a toddler, being alone is priceless. For a mom living in a van with a toddler and husband, it's a necessity. Just me, the sound of the wind, the bleating of sheep, and falling rocks. Yes, that too happens. Better to focus on the trail, on your breath, and try to silence the endless stream of thoughts. Sometimes it works. Breathing and yoga help me to relieve stress, calm down, and return to the present moment. Just an hour of walking is enough to restore my energy.
Today is the only sunny day in a whole week, so we want to see as much as possible and stay outdoor.
After a solo retreat, I always return refreshed and full of new strengths and warm emotions, happy to reunite with my husband and child. And I always manage to miss them. I had just refueled the soul, and now it was time to refuel my hungry stomach. Thankfully, there was a food truck right there in the mountains, serving fresh Scottish burgers, sizzling on the grill. And since we were talking about food, I have to mention our two favorites. First, fish and chips. Made from the softest fish, it tasted like it had been swimming in the ocean just an hour ago. Incredible! We never had such good fish and chips in the United States. And second, steak pie. We loved it so much that we stuffed our freezer full and kept eating it all the way to Italy. But back to that day, I was lucky enough to hike twice. While Amelia napped in the van and Dennis worked, I climbed the store. Honestly, I didn't expect it. I almost gave in to laziness. The trail was steep, and sometimes you just want to nap in the van. But I was so glad I didn't. The views at the top exceeded all expectations. It's always hard to take the first step, but the reward is pure joy. Your body worked, your eyes feasted on beauty. The United Kingdom isn't just green meadows, it's also castles.
Ой, какой хороший! Какой хороший малыш!
Donan Castle, one of Scotland's most iconic landmarks, seen on postcards, whiskey bottles and films. Low the castle, a grand yet romantic ruin nestled within enchanting landscapes. Although the ground of the castle seemed slightly neglected to us, the rose garden delighted us with its blooms. And Alnwick Castle, the one that inspired Hogwarts in the Harry Potter films. Its architecture and scale make it a strikingly believable version of the School of Wizardry. We decided we simply had to stop here to take a photo of Amelia with this castle. Not every child can say they have been to the Harry Potter castle, right?
Pit stop next to Harry Potter castle.
Apparently, under the spell of Hogwarts magic, our van suddenly refused to start. Ba-ba-ba-bam. We assumed it happened because we had parked on a steep slope and there wasn't enough fuel in the tank for the pump to pick it up. Dennis went to get 3 cans of diesel, but no luck. He called Mercedes-Benz USA support, and they told us we could go to any service center and get reimbursed later. But instead of waiting, Dennis went back for 3 more cans of diesel just to try.
Tank number 4.
Actually, number 5.
And miracle of miracles, the van finally started.
Yay!
Thank you, Harry. And if we talk about the most beautiful places in England and Scotland created by human hands, we must mention Edinburgh, the capital of Scotland and one of the most beautiful cities in the United Kingdom. The city stands on hills surrounded by extinct volcanoes, with its main landmark, Edinburgh Castle. The center is divided into the Old Town with its medieval streets and atmosphere of ancient Scotland, and the New Town with its elegant 18th century Georgian architecture. Both are UNESCO World Heritage Sites.
Look how cool is it? He has a Apple Pay receiver or card receiver, so you can pay by card to donate for the music, for the street music.
Among its natural symbols is Arthur's Seat, a hill that opens up a panoramic views of the city and the Firth of Forth. Edinburgh is famous for its atmosphere. Narrow stone lanes, old pubs, Gothic spires, and the university, museums, and cozy cafes. As always, we explored the city by bike. We believe it's the best way to see a city just in a few hours. On foot, you simply can't cover as much, especially with a child. But on a bike, you can visit all the landmarks without getting tired. We ended our journey through the United Kingdom with 2 university towns, Durham and Cambridge. Narrow streets, ancient bridges, cathedral towers. It feels like stepping back in time. Yet at the same time, these are vibrant, young cities where every second person is a student. And their energy is everywhere, in cafes, along the rivers, in the courtyards of the universities. Here, studying is inseparable from daily life. Dorms, libraries, and dining halls are all inside medieval castles and cathedrals. I would love to study in a place like this. Too late for us. But Amelia still has a chance. The Great Britain. How did you see it? Despite the rain, the wind, and the cold, we were truly amazed by its wild beauty, the endless sheep, and the greenest grass imaginable. After 11 days in the United Kingdom, our path now leads through France, Switzerland, and Italy, all the way east to China. Thanks for watching. Stay tiny, stay curious, immerse yourself in nature, explore endlessly. Don't miss the next episode. Let's keep discovering our tiny planet together.